Have you ever looked at a dangerous fire and thought, yes, that is exactly where my lunch should go? Because somewhere in deep human history, one of our ancestors may have done something very close to that. Imagine the scene. A small group of early humans stands near a fire. Nobody has a recipe. Nobody has a pan. Nobody says, preheat the cave to medium heat. There is only flame, smoke, hunger, and one very suspicious piece of food. Maybe it was meat dropped too close to the embers. Maybe it was a root buried under hot ash. Maybe someone made a mistake, sniffed the result. And suddenly the whole group leaned in like, wait, why does danger smell delicious? That strange moment may have helped change the human story. Before cooking, food was work, serious work. Raw meat was tough. Raw plants could be fibrous, bitter, or hard to digest. Roots and tubers could feel like underground bricks with terrible personalities. Eating was not a relaxing lunch break. It was a jaw workout with survival consequences. Modern humans complain when chips are too crunchy. Ancient humans had to negotiate with dinner using their teeth, and this matters because digestion is expensive. Your body does not simply receive food like a gift basket. It has to break it down. It has to fight tough fibers, unwrap proteins, unlock starches, and deal with whatever unpleasant microbes or toxins came along for the ride. Raw food can feed you, of course. Many animals live that way, but humans became something unusual. We became the animal that edits food before eating it. Fire was the editor at first. Fire was probably terrifying. It moved like an animal. It ate wood. It glowed at night. It punished anyone who got too curious to an ancient human. Fire was not a cozy fireplace. It was a bright, hot, unpredictable creature with terrible manners. But fire also gave warmth. It gave light. It may have helped keep predators away. It made the dark less powerful. And then at some point, humans discovered its weirdest trick. Fire could transform food. It could make meat softer. It could make roots easier to chew. It could make some plants safer. It could change smell, texture, and taste. Suddenly, food was not just found. Food was processed. That sounds boring until you realize it may be one of the most powerful ideas in human evolution. Cooking is like doing part of digestion outside the body. Heat breaks structures down before your stomach has to. It softens tissues. It changes starches. It makes some nutrients easier to access. It can reduce the amount of chewing needed. In a harsh world, that is not a luxury. That is a survival upgrade. Think about it like this. If raw food is a locked treasure chest, cooking is the caveman who finds a very hot key, and more usable energy matters a lot when you are a walking ape trying to run a very expensive brain. Human brains are hungry organs. They demand fuel all day, even when you are doing something deeply advanced, like staring into space and forgetting why you entered a room. Some scientists have argued that cooking helped make it possible for our ancestors to get more energy from food, more reliably. That does not mean one roasted snack instantly created poetry, math, and tax forms. Evolution is not a magic button. Nobody bit into a cooked root and immediately invented philosophy. But over long periods, better access to energy could support bodies and brains that were changing. It could make daily survival a little more efficient, and in evolution, a little more efficient can become a very big deal. The changes were not only inside the skull, compared with many other primates. Humans have smaller teeth, weaker jaws, and a digestive system that does not look built for endless raw chewing. We are not gorillas calmly processing leaves for half the day. We are the strange primates who invented soup, bread, barbecue, noodles, and the emotional need to reheat leftovers at midnight. Cooking may have reduced the daily burden of eating. Less chewing, softer food, more energy from each bite, more time available for other things. And that other things part is huge. A fire is not just a cooking tool, it is a social magnet. When food is cooked, people wait, they gather. They sit near the warmth, they watch the flames, they share pieces, they learn who gets what. They notice who is generous, who is sneaky, and who always pretends they did not take the biggest chunk. Around fire, survival becomes social. Maybe stories grew there, maybe planning grew there, maybe teaching grew there. Maybe gossip grew there too, because if there is one thing humans love more than food, it is discussing what another human did 3 caves away. Fire changed the schedule of life. Day did not have to end completely when the sun disappeared. Darkness became less absolute. The group could stay close, safer, warmer, and more connected. A cooked meal was not only calories. It was a meeting. This is where cooking becomes bigger than food. Animals eat, humans dine, not always politely, not always beautifully, and definitely not always without someone burning something and calling it smoky flavor. But humans turn eating into ritual. We make rules around it. We share it at weddings, funerals, holidays, first dates. awkward family dinners, and mysterious office parties where someone brings a salad nobody understands. That social habit may have very old roots. Early cooking may have encouraged cooperation because cooked food takes time. You have to guard it, you have to manage fire, you have to share space. You have to keep children from getting too close. You have to stop one very confident person from poking the flames until the whole meal falls into ash. A meal becomes a tiny social experiment. Who controls the fire? Who gets fed first? Who shares with children? Who brings food back to the group? Who steals quietly? Who helps? Who burns everything and still looks proud? These questions are funny, but underneath them is something serious. Cooking may have helped shape trust. It may have made food more central to group life. It may have turned survival into culture. Of course, we do not know the exact first moment. There was no ancient food blog called My First Burnt Mammoth. No one carved a 5-star review into a rock. Archaeologists work with ash. Burned bones, heated stones, old fire sites, and traces left behind after unimaginable amounts of time. The story is difficult, it is incomplete, it is still debated, but the pattern is powerful. At some point, humans learned that fire could be controlled enough to become useful. Then food changed. Then habits changed. Then social life may have changed with it. The funny part is that the first cooked meal may not have looked impressive at all. No garnish, no plate, no candlelight, no waiter saying excellent choice, just smoke, dirt. Nervous faces, and one brave person taking a bite while everyone else silently prepared to blame him if it went badly. But if it went well, everything changed. A softer bite meant less effort. A warmer meal meant comfort. A safer plant meant less risk. A shared fire meant a group could become more than scattered hungry individuals. It could become a circle, and humans are circle-making animals. We gather around campfires, we gather around kitchen tables, we gather around grills, stoves, ovens, street food carts, and microwaves that beep like tiny impatient robots. The technology changed, but the pattern stayed. Food brings us together because it has been doing that for a very, very long time. So the next time you cook dinner, remember how strange it really is. You are taking ingredients from nature, attacking them with controlled heat, changing their chemistry, improving their texture, making them safer or tastier, and then calling it normal. From the point of view of most animals, a kitchen is completely bizarre. Imagine a wolf watching a human cook pasta. The wolf would probably think, "You found food, then drowned it." Heated it, covered it in sauce, waited, arranged it, photographed it, and only then ate it? Fair question, wolf. But from the point of view of human history, cooking may be one of our oldest superpowers. The twist is this: humans did not only learn to cook food. Cooking may have helped cook humans into something new. It changed what we could eat. It changed how much energy we could get. It changed how long we sat together. It may have changed our bodies, our brains, our nights, and our tribes. A flame turned dinner into technology, and that technology turned survival into something warmer, stranger, and more human. Maybe the first cook was not a genius. Maybe they were just hungry, curious, unlucky, or brave enough to taste the thing that fell too close to the fire. But history does not always begin with a perfect plan. Sometimes it begins with a mistake that smells surprisingly good. And from that smoky little accident, humans may have gained more than a meal. We gained a new relationship with nature. We stopped only accepting food as we found it. We started changing it first. That is a very human idea. We reshape the world, and then the reshaped world reshapes us. So what do you think? If cooking helped transform ancient humans, what everyday invention today might be quietly transforming us next?